Okay, good day, guys. Welcome to today's session. So we're going to start with C500. This is the setup we have. So I notice we have a gap on C500. So if you apply the gap strategy, if you put the fib from where the gap opened to where it ended, it will be looking something like this. So when we came on the charts, I think price was here. So we've got positions, it's current market price. Then I've got a sell limit at equilibrium in the center of the gap. I have a sell limit there. So that's my positions for now. Then the stop loss, you want to put your stop loss on 34.45, just outside today's highs. So we're going to see if it plays out. So initially it's a short-term trade, and my other reason for taking the sell is the daily, or is the H1 reversal right there. If you see, we've got this candlestick here. So after taking liquidity here, I expect either a retracement or a reversal. So that's why we got sales going on here. So again, we want to scale in. If price breaks below this order block here, so this is the last order block before we created the peak, but we do have a minor order block in here. If you see where this line is, it's also in line with that equilibrium from the 1 minute gap. So that's another order block, but I'm using this one for a safe entry. So if we come below the zone, I'm looking to scale in as price retraces. Then potentially we can drop all the way to today's lows, which is also around yesterday's highs. Let me just check. Yeah, it's around yesterday's highs. So that's the current targets. Yesterday's highs, today's lows. So if price can do this, that will be the setup. So the target is currently about 40 pips. We can potentially get 40 pips here, but if we get 30 pips, then we can scale out. If price gets to around 33.90, then we can scale out. It's 33.90. So that's my current view for now for C5. In case they decide to extend the high, let's say they decide to push up, we'll simply wait for them to create a new peak. Then we'll look for the same pattern which we got right here. Then we're going to sell later. So that's it for C5. Then C1, I also have one sell position waiting for the setup to complete. So if we come below 62.86, if we get a close below 62.86, then I'm looking forward for a sell, potentially back to this area or this area, or maybe they can potentially continue dropping. But for now, this is my view. So I only have one position. Stop loss is above this high here. If we close below this zone, then I'm looking forward to add. So for now, it's a low probability trade. So the reason we're also selling C1 is because if you notice on the daily, we have a peak here. So the same pattern we look for on M15, we have it on a high time frame. So we have a peak and we have an order block here. So if we eventually come below the zone, we could actually get the sales coming all the way back to these lows. We get a huge drop, or maybe they might come around this area. But considering that this is the daily, it means this is a lot of pips on this area. So our reason for selling today is just this peak. We're looking for a continuation for price to at least get to today's lows. That's the first target. If we can get to today's lows, then that will be a complete setup right there. So again, that's my view for C1. You can also see on H1, we have this nice rejection here. Price can potentially extend just to take out this high, maybe reach into this area, but I still feel we're going to get a nice move to the downside all the way to today's lows. So that's my view on C1. Then B500, we already missed the setup. I saw it when I opened the charts. We already had a peak. Order block was broken and retested, and the price pushed. This would have been the targets right here. So the setup already played out. I'm not sure if they'll continue pushing up. But what we can have as a point of interest for now would be this order block here. Let's just see where the daily is flowing. So the daily looks like they could be bullish. H4 as well, but H4 could use with a retracement. So I still feel we can get a buy here based on this price action. We also have a baseline bounce here. So looking forward for price to continue pushing up. So what we need now is retracements. Let's see. Okay, we also have this 30-minute candle. If you open your 30 minutes, you see there's like a doji candle within that move. So I would use that area as my point of interest for buys. So if price comes and gives us a rejection of this area here, we're going to look for a buy, which will possibly take out this high, take out this high, take out this other high here. Potentially create a new high right there. So we need a nameable candlestick here. Then if we drop maybe to the M5, we can also get a pattern within the M5, then we can execute buys. They can potentially also come all the way to the 200 EMA just to form like a huge W pattern here. That's also possible. But I feel like this zone here will hold the price, and that's at 48.95. So we can have a buy limit at 48.95. Stop loss just below that zone, maybe around 48.65. That's the stop loss. Then you can leave the take profit open because this could be a good move to the upside. So that's my view for B5. B1000, I noticed we created a peak. We broke an order block, we pushed up, so we could be coming to retest that order block. That's my current view. This order block broken here. We also have this black candle within this broken order block. So this makes this a possible area for a buy, taking profit around this area here. So if we can get to 13.9, 13.975, that's my point of interest for a possible buy limit. So if we do break, I also want to see how they interact with the 200 EMA again. If we don't have any interaction, the worst case scenario for this particular setup would be price extending this low and actually coming to yesterday's lows here, then creating a pattern from there. That will be the worst case scenario. So if we have buy limits here, bear in mind that you have to cut loss here and re-enter somewhere here. So that's what you should just keep in mind. But otherwise, 13.975. That's my point of interest for B1000. Then the worst case scenario would be around 13.880, around that area. That's where we'll be looking to buy from. So sometimes price will have momentum and they'll decide to push up without reaching our zones. So we can consider a quick buy if we close above 14.045. If we get a close above this level here, we can consider a short-term buy and target about 60 pips. So if we can get 50 pips from this move, that'll be fine. If we react from this zone on the bottom, then we'll potentially be aiming for 100 pips on this move. So we should keep stalking on this one and see if they can pay us. So again, my view is I'm looking forward for price to come and take out this daily liquidity at the top here. So this candle could be faking out sellers and price will just continue being bullish all the way up here. That's why we actually want to buy P1000. We're buying into this daily bias. If they decide to pull back down, then maybe let's see if there can be a worst case scenario. They could potentially, yeah, the worst case scenario is just coming and reacting on yesterday's lows. That's the lowest they can go, I think. So yeah, I think for B1, that's it. If we break here, we're going to buy and target 50 pips. If we come all the way down here, we're going to buy and target 100 pips. But if we break below this area, it means they'll be coming to this level. If we have any positions here, we'll have to cut loss because we cannot hold this whole area because there's also no guarantee that if we hold, they will respect this area. They might actually continue pushing down. So just bear in mind managing the trades accordingly. So if you are buying, if it's a small account, just start with 0.20 and hold that one position until we get confirmation that this zone is holding the price. And if we come above here, you can use 0.30 because potentially we might have momentum going straight up. Then if we come down here, we will again start with 0.20. Then as the price confirms our direction, we add positions. So that's how we're going to manage B1. J10 has been bullish. I haven't had an entry point. Let's see. Okay, they eventually got to this zone we marked at the top here. So we could actually get a retracement now. If we can get any signs of a sell, it will be a short-term sell, but I think it will actually be worth it. So looking at this price action, already we had a sell earlier from this high here. So price can still challenge this level, then actually drop. So if you are trading J10, you can just mark that level. It's on M15, and you want to mark this zone here, which is around 88,505 to 88,600. So if you can just mark this zone, let's see if price rejects this area, then we'll potentially look for a sell coming back to today's lows. That will be the setup. So this is the point of interest for now. Then if we break, it could be another setup forming. Then we'll just have to check that one maybe tomorrow. Then V250 I asked people for a discussion on this, and I'm going to quickly explain it now. So remember, we were asking this zone, are we coming down into this zone for buys? We came down and we had a buy limit which got activated. But what I wanted to discuss on this setup is, if you notice, price came to take out this low, but just below this zone, we also had this zone. I'm sure we mentioned it the day we spoke about this setup. So price came into this zone below here, respected that one. So what I also want to explain is, here's the trick. When you're on H4, you want to look for order blocks, you want to look for demand areas, you want to look for supply areas. So when you get into a demand area, you want to look for a buy. So once your price starts playing in your zone, what you want to do is you want to drop to your smaller time frame, like your H1 or your M15 or M30. Then usually if the setup is on a high time frame, it takes 1 to 2 days for the setup to fully form. So you can see yesterday we came down, we didn't break this high here. So even though we're looking forward to buy, no high was broken. So we continued coming down, right? Then today now, what you notice is price took out these lows, doji, bullish engulfing, price breaks a zone, comes and retests it. We're trading above the EMA, so the trend is bullish. So if you took this trade, then you should be in profit. The TP is somewhere on top. I'm looking forward to this week's highs to be taken out. That's the target. Once we take out these highs, then we can scale out. Potentially price is coming here. But this is the setup. The setup was also sent in the Telegram group. I'll highlight it just now. So remember, you mark your zone from a higher time frame, then you drop down to a smaller time frame to look for a confirming pattern. So if you notice today, we had this perfect move down. We didn't break this zone here. So even if we had bought here, there was no confirmation. Price still came back down, created a peak. Then they broke an order block here. Then from here, we've been strong bullish. We broke this zone. We came back to retest it. So what you want to mark is your zones. Price will retest one of those zones. So if it retests, you see nameable candles. Like here, you've got dojis, you've got pin bars rejecting a zone. So that shows the buy is continuing. This is another zone. This is another zone. So price can potentially now retrace either here or come as low as here, or even come as low as here again before continuing pushing up. But if you entered on the buy limit, then your trade should be good. So I think that's all for today. I don't know if there's any questions. The session was recorded. I'll send the link just now. It will also be on YouTube. So we're still waiting for CE5 to play out. I still feel this will play out. We just need to wait. As soon as they close below the zone, it becomes high probability. Then we add positions right here. Then we hold until this area. We didn't speak about C3. C3 looks like it's bearish, but I don't have a clean entry on it. Okay, we're respecting a zone which we marked. I'm not sure if it was yesterday or the day before. Again, you can see here, this was a supply zone which was broken. Then price came to this one, right? Then we started getting rejections, and price is now pushing down, rejecting, pushing down. So if we can get an entry, maybe let's see how M15 is moving. Okay, so before I enter this one, what I want to see is price break below today's lows first. Once we break today's lows, I want to get a pullback, which will either come into the zone or even come as high as this area here. Then from there, we look for a pattern. Then we sell. That's my view for now. So I want to see this zone get broken and price retreats before I get interested in selling. So if price moves is anticipated, I'm going to share the entry on our Telegram when we get back on the group. So if there's no other questions, thank you guys for joining. This session will be shared on YouTube. You can still rewatch it. If you're watching on YouTube, you can like, share, and comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Okay, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Good trading.